Dude, I'm seeing these comments. It's just so two-faced snake weasels, little rats.
Yeah.
And this is kind of who they are, though, to be honest. Like, these are the conversations they have in private, and then they kind of change face. So maybe it's even better that they're finally have the balls to be authentic.
I mean,
now.
look,
Yeah, so it sounds like shit's hitting the fan here. You know, those comedians goofing on Rogan really touched a nerve. Like, I figured it was getting to him, but I didn't realize it was this bad. And I'm not totally sure who Schultz is talking about, but at one point it definitely sounds like he's referring to Stavros Hakias, who's been on Rogan's podcast, but he's not
And by the way, is funnier than anybody in the Rogan sphere could ever fucking hope to be ever.
someone whose career was made by Rogan. But Schultz refers to him because he did a podcast with another comedian, and I think she made a trans joke or something, and he called her out on it and said she had Austin brain. And that clip got a lot of attention. And Schultz,
No, she kept saying the T slur, the slur for trans, the T slur for trans, right? She kept saying that, and Stavros was like vibing with it and being jokey about it, but was also like, "Hey, dog, like, don't say that. Like, for your own good, kind of. Don't say that, right?"
also mentions how this person was on a podcast that's known for saying offensive stuff, which sounds like he's referring to Town. So I think he's definitely talking about Stavros. And also, it sounds like he could still be talking.
But you can't cancel Stavros. He doesn't care, right? He doesn't care. For him, there actually is nothing held sacred. And so, the Rogan sphere comes after him. That's not going to impact him at all. He doesn't give a fuck, right? Like, but they're making it seem like he sinned by disagreeing with Rogan.
About Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, you know, because they had on Marin and they also criticized the Rogan sphere. But then recently Santino went on Rogan's podcast and did Kill Tony. So after that, people thought everything was fine between them. But now hearing this, it sounds like, who knows? You know, it sounds like Schultz thinks he's a backstabber. So also I think he could be referring to Anthony Jeselnik because he's been making fun of Schultz in the Rogan sphere for a while now, but I guess not as much recently. And those comedians seem to respect him a little more. So it's possible Schultz isn't thinking of him. And obviously, I mean, he's been on Rogan's podcast, but Rogan's not responsible for his career either. So then also, I'm sure Schultz is thinking of Bill Burr and maybe Dan Soder. He's another guy that's been on Rogan's podcast before, and he's taken some subtle shots, kind of more so at the people that follow Rogan and the comedians that latch onto him, like Schultz. And then also he had on Mark Maron recently, so I'm sure that did it. You know, it sounds like if you have on Mark Maron, the Rogan sphere hates you.
Yeah, so it seems like it's the Rogan sphere. It's Schultz, it's Rogan. They're like the petty high school bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, how dare you have on Mark Maron? He's not friends with our overlord, Rogan. Like, what do you do? Like, come on, man. We all see through this.
But none of these comedians owe their careers to Rogan. Like, I'm sure they really appreciate him inviting them on and would admit Rogan's very gracious to comedians and loves helping them out and seeing them succeed. But I don't think it's out of line for them to joke about or criticize Rogan just because he had them on his podcast once.